My name's Toni. I'm from Cloquet, Minnesota.
My name is Sean Prouty. I'm from the Duluth area.
And our wedding is June 22nd, 2019.
25 more days. Not that I'm counting.
So I like to say that we met at Olive Garden.
She doesn't like this answer, but online, those dating apps, she won't let me say which one though.
I have to explain myself first. So originally my roommate tried Tinder and she met like her fiance on there, and her brother met his fiance on there and stuff. And at first I did not want to try it, but after a while I was like, okay. I think Sean messaged me first.
Well, I remember I was working and we were going to meet at Olive Garden, and she called me to make sure that we were still meeting. And before that I was like, she's too pretty for me, so she's probably a catfish, like a dude or something. And then so she called me, and she's got a little bit of a higher voice, especially when she's excited. It gets even higher. And when I first heard her voice, I was like, oh my God, it is a dude. I'm getting catfished right now. It's clearly a fake voice. So I showed up to Olive Garden early, get a good spot so I can watch the entrance, to watch her go in.
I went in there first and I was sitting on the bench, and he came up to me and he was like, Toni?
Did the finger guns, like, Toni.
And that was the first thing. I was like, this guy's pretty awesome. He's laid back. I like him. He's cool. I initially told him, I was like, can we go Dutch? Because I wanted to pay for my own.
I said, well, how about this? I'll pay for this time. You pay for that the next time. And so that's how I got the second date out of her.
I have then the rule of I can't get something that is more expensive than what they get. And so he ordered chicken nochi soup and breadsticks. And so I was like, okay. And so I was like, I guess I'll have what he's having. And we ended up talking, and initially I was like, hey, like I'm gonna go to a movie after this, because I used to go to movies by myself all the time. He was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna help my grandparents after this, help them with their house or whatever. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is like a 20-year-old lying to me right now. and lo and behold, he actually was going to his grandparents. And then basically the rest is history, I guess. We just kept hanging out. He kept coming over to my house.
I just kept coming around a lot. We were just like, oh, I guess we're dating.
I definitely love the fact, like oddly enough, he has little bits of all of my family members. Like he reminds me of my sisters, my grandma, my grandpa. Like he's very friendly and kind, and just like anybody, if I put him in a room with anybody, he's gonna make friends with them basically. Very
pretty, obviously. Very, very kind, very smart. She's an animal lover, which is very important for me, because I right off the bat too, I told her, I said, like, nobody's getting between me and my dog, and which now the dog likes her more, so it worked out great.
As weird as I am, when I first started hanging out with him, I originally asked him like what his future goals are, like if he wants to get married, if he wants to have kids and things like that. And so I think when we first started hanging out, we knew kind of like eventually it would be marriage.
I like to plan ahead and say like, well, if I'm not going to keep dating her if I'm not thinking about it.
After probably a year for sure, we were more serious talking about marriage and things like that. So I was always wondering if he was going to do it.
It was a little bit hard, because I knew that she didn't want anybody else around, which is a little bit difficult because I had to set things up. I ended up doing like a scavenger hunt with puzzle pieces around the house. So when you put the puzzle together, it's kind of like some cheesy poem, and then it says, "Will you marry me?" throughout it. We had just gotten back from Minneapolis with my parents. We went to see the Book of Mormon. We went to Paisley Park. And then we came back. My parents dropped us off at our house, and then we had to go pick up my dog from her dad's house.
He started cleaning things, and I was like, what are you doing? Like, I mean, we just moved in the house. Like, it's totally fine. It's gonna be messy. And then I was also hungry, and we're supposed to go to Taco John's to get food, which I love Taco John's. So we got in the car, and then he was like, oh no, I forgot my wallet and my phone. And I was like, he never forgets his wallet or his phone. That's like the one thing that he always has with him. And so he ended up going inside.
And so quickly I got everything together, because we were all just in different envelopes. And I had numbered all the envelopes, put them around the house.
And he was in there for like 3 minutes, and I was like, okay, is he like needing help or what? And so we have these cameras in our house, and so I popped up the camera on my phone, and I saw him in the kitchen putting like something in the microwave, and I was like what? He put his phone in the microwave? So I was really confused.
And so when I came out to the truck, she was like, what'd you put in there? I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. You're crazy, you're insane.
So it's kind of like something's gotta be up. And then he ended up getting in and he dropped his phone in his wallet, which he's not clumsy either. And so I was like, okay, something is going on. Like, why is he acting so weird? And so we ended up going to my dad's house, and then got Rosie. We both got in the car, and then he was like, oh, I have to ask your dad something. And I was like, okay. And so then he ran in really quick and then came back out like 5 seconds later. And so that was weird. We ended up getting food, and he smartly scarfed down his taco right away. But like, I'm one of those where I like to enjoy my meal all at once. And so I was waiting till we got home to like put it out and eat it. And that was a big mistake on my part, because basically we ended up getting home and like I was like rushing in ready to go eat, and he's like, oh, hold on, my GoPro's not starting. I was like, why do you need your GoPro to work right now? Like, I'm super hungry.
So we came back, and she found the envelope on the door, and so I had her convinced that it was her sister doing this.
This envelope that said Toni, which is toe, like T-O-E, and then K-N-E-E, like knee, and that's how my sister spells my name. And so originally I was like, my sister is here? Like, what? We walked inside, and I put the envelope down on the bench, and I grabbed the food because I was gonna go eat. And he's like, no, you can't eat until after you do open the envelope first. And I was getting hangry at that point because I wanted food. And so I opened up the envelope, and it was basically like a scavenger hunt. And so then I figured out why he was in the microwave.
Walked around the house and got all the puzzle pieces. She put the puzzle pieces together.
And then I sat down at the table, and he had his GoPro in front of me, and then he had the phone like behind me and was filming.
I had this whole elaborate speech in my head, but I forgot all of that right when she was reading it. So I just sat there on my knee behind her, just silent. There's nothing out of it, and I was like,
I then turned, and then he was like, he asked me, and then, yeah, it was, that's how it happened.
She asked, like, really? And I was like, yeah. She never really answered me. So then after a little while later, I was like, so where are we at on this?
Oh.
You never answered me.
Yes, I got it. Really nervous, excited, anxious. Like, it was just a lot, I guess, a lot of emotions in one.
Excited. I don't know if nervous is the right word. I knew she'd say yes, because we talked about it, so it's not like I was like springing it upon her. But how I was going to do it was I guess, the biggest surprise.
So sweet. I'm glad that wasn't for my sister.
So by the time we were done the scavenger hunt, the food was cold. So she still reminds me of that.
Anytime I call him, he answers. Anything that I need, he does. I mean, he's a go-getter. He's kind of like the determined initiator and does things, which I'm more towards the back, and I'm just like, oh gosh, I don't know if I can do that. He gets me out more too, which is nice. But he's charismatic, he's super sweet. He loves everybody.
She is the only person that I've known that actually makes me want to be a better person, because she's way better than me. Like, she's the nicest person I've ever met, and it makes me want to be more like her. I love how she is with not only the animals, because we got 2 cats that she loves, and my dog that she stole from me, but the way she plays with my niece and takes care of her really makes me excited to have kids with her. She's gonna be a good mom.
I think part of it's like every single day when I get off of work, or if something happens, he's the first person I want to talk to. He's the first person I want to tell everything to. Above all, like, he says he's not religious or anything like that. He's more spiritual, but like, he's one of the persons where I can tell that his heart is like from Jesus. Like, he has that giving and sweet, kind heart that not a lot of people have. I mean, he serves in the military, fighting for our country, which is awesome. There's so many things, but it's hard to pinpoint like exactly what it is.
She's a very private person. She doesn't want to have a wedding because she doesn't want all the people staring at her. So taking off the garter, yeah, just to see her embarrassed is going to be funny, especially with the song that I chose. Either that or the first dance.
I'm more so excited for it all to be done with and to just be married. I think that's the main part. I'm not good in crowds or anything like that. I'm really nervous for it, so I'm more so looking forward to afterwards.